into another episode of our MLB positional preseason rankings. Today we are getting into our top 5 second basemen. So without further ado, let's get into it. At number 5, we have Bryce Terang going on to his 4th year in the MLB with the Milwaukee Brewers. Guy that we're very excited to watch. Mostly on here for his offense. Nothing particularly special on defense. Did have 10 errors last year. StatCast, for what it's worth, gave him a 50 fielding rating with a 0 fielding run value. Doesn't necessarily have any special range. Not a particularly strong arm. But more or less gets the job done. But he's on here because of his bat, I think. So, Wyatt, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, look at his stats the last 3 years. It's gotten, I feel like, way better and better every single year, and I think he's only going to get better. Last year he finished almost 600 at bats, which I feel like you don't see that much anymore.
Yeah.
288 average, 18 home runs, 81 RBIs, 24 stolen bases, and an OPS of just under 800. I mean, you got to take that from a second baseman. I would take that any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, defense, not necessarily as important at
He's an
second
average
than maybe
defender.
at short.
Below average, you would say? Just below average defender, probably.
Yeah, he's average, I'd say. I mean, there's definitely worse fielding second baseman out there. But, no, I mean, the bat and definitely the speed. I mean, underrated aspect of the game. He's a base stealer, and that's important. That helps you win games. Overall, I mean, StatCast gives him a 80 rating offensively with a 17 batting run value, which is pretty good. So, makes difference with the bat.
100 stolen bases is good. Three years.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily harm them defensively, but isn't going to do anything amazing. But that's okay. You steal a lot of bases, hit for a high average.
He's always out there, too. He's healthy. I mean, 600 bats, almost 600 at bats in a year is, I mean, I really don't feel like we see that nowadays. So, I mean, it's good that it kind of shows that he's always out on the field, he's always hitting the ball every single day. So, I mean, that's all you can ask for nowadays, I feel like. So,
moving on to number 4. So, we're going to go with Brendan Donovan of the Seattle Mariners. This is another guy, so for whatever reason, StatCast doesn't love him defensively, but he only had 4 errors last year. Doesn't have the best range, but he does have a very good arm for whatever that's worth at second base. But don't necessarily know where the 41 rating comes from that StatCast has given him. Gives him a 2 outs above average, 1 run prevented last year. Overall, like I said, not sure where this low rating comes from on StatCast. From what I'm seeing, he is pretty good defensively. So, for me, he's top 5 on the defensive side of things. Wyatt, I'll let you talk about the offense.
Same with the offense, I would say pretty good. 287 average last year. Not a huge power guy, only 10 home runs. I feel like second base is kind of a position, though, where it's not normally a big power spot in the lineup. Finished with 50 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and an OPS of 775. So I think offensively he's, I would say, middle of the pack, probably. Maybe a little above that, but he's a consistent hitter, I feel like.
Yeah, he's consistent offensively, consistent defensively. He won a Gold Glove in 2022. He was a one-time All-Star. He was an All-Star last year. I mean, overall, I think a very well-rounded player. Deserves to be in the top 5. Going on to his 5th year, so another younger guy for sure. And another guy I think we've continued to see get a little bit better over the course of his career.
Yeah. It's good to see him go to a winner over the offseason, too.
Yeah.
So get out of St. Louis. I think that's kind of a rebuilding team now. So Yeah,
For sure. I mean, definitely exciting new opportunity for him. I think a player that, like I said, he's only going to keep getting better, and I think well deserving of that top five spot.
number three is your favorite.
Yeah. Hey, we're unbiased on here, right? Number three, we're going to go with Jazz Chisholm. Um, so for whatever reason, like we said before, I'm seeing a little discrepancy between the Statcast ratings that they're giving these second basemen versus kind of some of the stats that I'm looking at on the side. Um, but for whatever reason, Statcast likes him defensively, despite him being fifth in the league in errors last year. But they have him at 68 defensive rating with a 2 fielding run value, 8 outs above average with 6 runs prevented. Um, like I said, fifth in the league in errors last year. So, not really sure what's going on with StatCast there, but overall, pretty quick guy, has pretty decent range, has a great arm, has played third base before. And I believe he's also played shortstop before. So I think overall, despite the errors, clearly has some defensive value there.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily Gold Glover, but like I said, Statcast seems to like him after looking at some of his more advanced stats, like the fielding run value, outs above average. I think despite the errors, it's clear that he does help the team win defensively, which, with the offense on top of that, puts him at a 3, so why I'll let you get into the offense here.
Yeah, pretty solid offensive year for him. 242 average, 31 home runs, which I got to say that shocked me when I saw that. 80 RBIs and 31 stolen bases with an OPS of over 800. So I mean, he's a damn good hitter, I feel like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do think defensively, my opinion, New York was not very good defensively around the field last year. So
No. I mean, Anthony Volpe was terrible at short.
yeah,
Fourth in the league in errors.
yeah,
But look, I mean, errors aren't everything. Statcast isn't everything either. So I mean, it's hard for us because we kind of got to balance kind of the more traditional standard stats with some of the more advanced stats. I know in our catching episode we were very heavy on the advanced Statcast stats with our catchers. But I think when we kind of start moving into our infield positions, our second base, our shortstop, there's a little bit more that goes into it. So clearly, Jazz, tons of value offensively, value defensively, and he said it himself. He's going to be the next 50-50 member of the 50-50 club with Shohei Ohtani. So
yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens.
and he wants $35 million a year. So
I want a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
We don't all get the things we want. All right. I mean, I do think he'll get paid. I would say over 20.
He'll get paid. Someone will pay him.
I think I could see like 25.
Yeah.
Might be still a little bit of an overpay, but
it's a lot of money, man.
Somebody will give him a solid, probably like 7-year deal. I think he'll get paid.
So moving on to number 2. So at number 2, despite what ESPN and MLB Network say, we're gonna put Ketel Marte at 2. Obviously, not just the best hitting second baseman in the league, but he's one of the best hitters in the league. But defensively, he's really not great. Statcast gave him a 46 fielding rating with -1 fielding run value, 1 out above average. He had 6 errors last year. He does have good range. Not a great arm, but it is second base, so the arm doesn't necessarily matter quite as much. But Wyatt, I'll let you get into his offensive numbers here.
Yeah, very good year. 283 average, 28 home runs with 72 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and an OPS of 893. So, I mean, I think he's always going to be top of the league offensively.
Yeah.
Second baseman wise, for sure. but I think the defense just kind of brings him down a little bit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, a little better defense, and I think he's at 1 over Nico, but, not to spoil our number 1, but, our number 1's a little bit more of a well-rounded player, I think, but it's just a couple other things to point out offensively for Marte here. 32, 95 batting rating with a 32 batting run value. He was 14th in the league last year in batting run value, the entire league, so that's pretty good. And then another thing to point out is that 517 slugging, so big power, 28 home runs, it's a lot of doubles, will hit triples, so just all around great value with the bat. So really just pointed out that, there's a couple other things there other than just his standard stats. But anyways, moving on to our number 1, Nico Hoerner of the Chicago Cubs. 14 outs above average last year, 10 runs prevented, a 12 fielding run value, only had 4 errors. So all around, I'd say this is one of the few guys where StatCast and kind of standard stats kind of all agree with each other. One of the best defensive second basemen in the league. Wyatt, I'll let you go over the offensive stats here.
Yeah, offensively, another bat of almost 600 at-bats, 599 at-bats for him. So very, very consistent. 297 average. Anytime you're around 300, I feel like it's fantastic.
Can't complain.
Not a big power guy, only 7 home runs. 61 RBIs, 29 stolen bases, and an OPS of 739. So, I think he's more of like a leadoff hitter, in my opinion. The power is not there, but I don't think that's a knock on him. I think he's just an all-around great player.
No, but the strikeouts are super low. Only struck out 49 times last year, 66 the year before. Good, decent threat on the bases as well, with 29 stolen bases last year, 31 in 2024. So he's a toolsy guy, plays good defense, will hit for a high average, will be a threat on the bases. So, yeah, like I said, I think overall probably the most well-rounded second baseman on the list.
Yeah.
I think, second base is one of those positions where there's not a lot of well-rounded second baseman in the league, I feel like, right? Not always the best fielders, not always the best hitters either. They're the middle infielders who aren't good enough to play short. Traditionally, they'll be a little bit better on the bat, but
yeah, he's definitely number 1 for sure, I think.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting paid next year, he's a free agent after this year, so he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
Massive payday coming for him, I think. So, stud.
Yeah.
Absolute
and on with
stud.
it. Absolute stud.
Absolute.
Well, thank you guys for
stud.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. We will be going over our preseason shortstop rankings. So that should be a fun episode. We all love our shortstop. So see you guys.